The knock at midnight. Someone knocked on my door after midnight. 3 slow knocks. I had already signed the divorce papers and packed my things. I was trying to forget the man I used to be. When I opened the door, a stranger stood there. He was about 35 years old, wore an expensive coat, and had tired, red eyes. He looked as exhausted as I felt. He whispered, "We need to talk." I knew who he was immediately. I had watched security footage of him walking into my house while my wife was supposed to be at work. I didn't ask his name. I just let him in. We stood in my empty living room without speaking. Then he said, "She lied to both of us." Everything inside me became still. Not angry, just cold. I realized this was never about 2 men fighting over 1 woman. We were both trying to survive the same liar. My wife Claire had started changing slowly. Very slowly. She took longer showers. She kept her phone face down. She wore new perfume. Small changes. Invisible changes. But betrayal doesn't come loudly. It whispers. One night, she kissed me goodbye without looking in my eyes. That small moment hurt me more than anything else. I didn't hire a detective. I didn't accuse her. I just became invisible. I changed my work schedule. I put cameras in the smoke detectors. I downloaded our phone bills. I found an unknown phone number. Weekly hotel charges. Cash withdrawals. Lunches that lasted 6 hours. I said nothing. Silence makes guilty people comfortable. Comfortable people become careless. Then I watched a video. Claire opened the front door at 2:14 p.m. A man walked in. They hugged. They went upstairs. I watched it once. Just once. I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. The phone records confirmed everything. Thousands of messages. Late-night calls. Vacation plans. My marriage was background noise in someone else's love story. Every morning I made her coffee. Every night I asked about her day. She answered with lies. I answered with calm. The hardest part wasn't pretending. It was realizing how easily she believed her lies were working. Then a courier delivered an envelope to me. Inside was a photograph of Claire with the man at a beach. Their arms were around each other. On the back was one sentence. She said she was already divorced. I stared at that photo for an hour. Then I smiled. Not because the pain was less. I smiled because everything finally made sense. She wasn't living one lie. She was living 2 different lives. One for me. One for him. That evening, I put the photograph on our dining table. Next to it I put hotel receipts, phone records, and screenshots. Claire came home with groceries. She stopped. Her breathing changed. "What is this?" she asked. I looked at her calmly. "I was hoping you'd tell me." The color left her face. She tried to explain. She tried to make excuses. "I can explain," she said. "I know," I answered. "But explanations only matter before the truth comes out." She sat down and cried. She begged. She made promises. Every word sounded practiced. Then I slid the divorce papers across the table. I've already signed them. For the first time since I'd known her, she had nothing to say. I left without another word. Just the sound of the door closing behind me. She called hundreds of times. I didn't answer. Weeks passed. Then came the knock at midnight. The other man sat across from me and opened a folder. "My name is Daniel," he said. "I thought she was leaving an abusive marriage. I paid her rent. I bought her gifts. I loaned her money." He showed me bank transfers, text messages, and recordings. She had told him I refused to sign the divorce papers. She had told me she was working overtime when she visited him. Neither of us was special. We were both just resources to her. "I figured you deserved the truth," he said. I nodded. "So did you." We exchanged everything. Not as rivals. As witnesses. That was the worst punishment Claire could face. Not losing one relationship. Losing the idea that she had controlled either of us. Months later, the house was sold. The wedding photos were gone. Her number was deleted from my phone. Sometimes people ask if I hate her. I don't. Hatred keeps people connected. Indifference cuts the final thread. The best revenge wasn't exposing her. It wasn't the divorce. The best revenge was refusing to let her betrayal ruin the rest of my life. She spent years building 2 false worlds. Both fell apart on the same night. I lost a wife. She lost every version of herself she had invented. When I think about that knock on my door, I don't remember the sound anymore. I remember the silence that came after. Because silence wasn't how I lost everything. Silence was how I finally got my life back.